Good evening. Sound check 1 2. Sound check 1 2. Can you hear me? Test, test. Let me know if you can hear me or not. Perfect. All right. I'm going to give it just a couple of minutes. I said, 7 o'clock or, close to this time. So we'll give it a couple of minutes and let a few stragglers come in if they need to. Wow, what a wild day, huh? What a wild market, actually. This right here that's on my screen is the S&P 500. I haven't seen anything like this since dot-com days. Or, well, take that back, the financial crisis. That's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. Actually, I'll go ahead and take... let's go ahead and we'll start out with Bitcoin. Actually, I'm going to start out with this. I'll keep it at the S&P 500 for right now, just because this is a more broad market, right? This is everybody's 401ks, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, we'll give it just a minute or two here, see if anybody straggles in. Short the Ponzi, right? Yeah, the markets, it was way overdue for a correction. So whatever needed to cause this, it happened, right? So things were getting way too frothy. Way too frothy. Let me go ahead and give everybody a reminder here. Hang on one second. All right. Okay, so it's right at 7, a little after. We'll go ahead and delve into it, and if people come in and want to ask questions later, that's fine. So here we are with the S&P 500. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you can see back here, right? This was back in late 2018. Look at we had a sell-off, not quite as steep as this right over here. But we had a V-shaped recovery, right? Very bullish. And another one right there. So every dip was bought into, right? You can just see this. And then this long run right here really kind of reminds me of like 1999, to be honest with you. It really does. I mean, these short little, just steady up, just that sort of thing reminds me of 1999, late 1999, all over again. Eventually, it just got to a point to where it couldn't hold itself, and we were getting bearish divergences. This is actually the first short squeeze that we've seen on the S&P 500. Going back to October. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at right now, and I posted this last night at this area right here at 3,000, or 3026, my bad, was key support, right? We had this right over here, which was resistance, and it just blew right through that area, blew right through the 200-day moving average. And so now the question is, what's next, right? So next is going to be, right down in here, the 261.8, and that's around 29.24. After that, you're getting down to the next fib retracement from the other low over here, which is 50%, and that's going to be right here at 28.74. So it could get pretty nasty. Still, it seems like every rally attempt is getting sold into. As far as the coronavirus deal, I'm not sure what you guys' opinion is on it, but it's like any other virus, right? To me, what's the difference? Flu kills more people, right? This is all blown way out of proportion, in my opinion. This is just an excuse to sell the market off and get mom and pop out of the market. That's all this is. So they're going to play it up. They're going to do their deal, and probably here in about another month, we're going to see the market make a nice, nice reversal from where it wants to bounce from, right? This thing could still go a lot lower, depending on where they want it to go to. But right now, this is all right here, and probably right in here is margin calls. I mean, you got people buying on margin, and they're getting margin calls right now. And so when you have to liquidate your position, they sell it. That just cascades everything. And so until you finally reach the crescendo and the bottom, and we'll know that like on a daily stick, you're going to see one of those where you get the long wick out the bottom, and you're going to get a close pretty close to the high. That's going to be the point, right? But we're not there yet. So trying to predict this thing, 15 minutes into the close or an hour into the close, it's just hard. It really is. And so my recommendation right now is, just be careful. That's what you have to do. You can't sit here and try to pick bottoms. That's a falling knife right there. I'm not going to get stabbed, and I'm not going to get cut. I'm just not. Okay, so that's the S&P 500. Let's go over and take a look at Bitcoin. And here's your futures chart. I posted this last night that we were at a key inflection point. Okay, and lo and behold, what happened here? We've got this trend line, right? We've got the moving averages right here. 50, 100, just right here. Here's the 10 and 20 still that's going to be resistance, right? Right up here, you got your 200-day moving average. Drop below it. Any move back above these moving averages, and it's time to get seriously long, right? Down here, it's telling us we're not quite there yet. This is a squeeze indicator, and it's fired off to the short side. So we're getting closer to a bottom. I'm not saying that that's it, but that's a key area right there to hold. So if it can get any kind of momentum going behind it, breaking these levels right up here, especially like around 9,400, and then you've got a chance, right? But until it breaks above the 200-day moving average at 91.21, these are going to be resistance, and big resistance. Okay, we got support down here, but these are the bigger ones, and those are our resistance. So anyway, we'll see if it can hold this trend line. It did put in a doji inside day of this red candle. So let's see if maybe it's trying to reverse here, right? It has the potential to reverse, but it's got to prove itself, right? So let's see what happens on this one. Any questions about that? And again, that's the futures chart. If I go over to a regular chart, Coinbase Exchange, let me change my cursor and I'll just show you this as well. Pretty similar, but most people actually, trade off this. They don't look at futures too much. But it's holding the 200-day moving average, right? You got the 233 up here. In my opinion, what needs to happen, we could possibly get down to 8,500 again, maybe in the next few days, and then bounce off that. But again, your 10 and your 20, and this is what I was worried about when that crossed, those are going to be resistance. And now your 233 is going to be resistance. We can stay oversold on the stochastic RSI for a long time. Okay? Just because it's oversold doesn't mean we're bouncing, or we have to, right? But then zoom in a little bit, or zoom out if that's your preference. And you got this big long trend line right here. You got this one coming up here. Right here we're going to get close to something happening. Either this breaks down or it comes back in and just kind of hovers around this area for a while, and unless it wants to break up. It's going to take a little while for this thing to work out, right? It just looks that way. Unless we get, I don't know, unless this whole coronavirus thing, they say it's not as serious as what it is, the death rate on this thing is very minimal, guys. I mean, it spreads, obviously with contact, but so does flu, right? How significant are dojis? Well, dojis just mean basically indecision, right? You can sit there, like on this one here, and we've got an inside day. Now the question is, I'll look at GDX too, you bet. But look at this. Here was a doji, right? Kind of a dragonfly doji, but still, it was a doji, right? Small body, and then it tried to recover, chopped in here a little bit, and then made a big spike, but then came right back down. And this is what I talked about a few days ago. Were we getting a hint? Bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing. There were hints here that something was going on, and then boom. And so now what do you have? Pattern-wise, you've got a 3 black crows, okay? That's continuation, okay? So we have to be aware of that. We have to respect that in this market. So, to me, getting back above the 10 and the 20, and then taking out this red candle right here is going to be the first step, and that's at 9,400. So the best bet for Bitcoin really is just, let's just try to get back above the 233 to start, maybe get up here around 9,000, 9,100, and just chop around a little bit and then try to work past those. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. This is just, it's a global thing, and Bitcoin's not any different. It's just like the rest of the markets. Everybody's going to start looking at this and panicking and, I need to save my money in case I can't go to work. That sort of thing, right? So, but my opinion about this is that it's way overblown. Let me refresh this screen real quick because that's blurry. All right, so any questions on that? All right. One of the things that's actually, and I was watching this today and I was like, wow, Link. This thing just doesn't care what is going on, right? Had a, retrace right here, but it's done it in the past, but no follow through, and it held the 50 EMA, and that's a nice reversal pattern right there. Big red stick, doji, green stick overtook the red one. And that's a strong reversal. We'll see if there's follow through. It is back above the 10 and the 20. Stochastic RSI, if it can pull through oversold and get up into here, this thing's got some Momo to the upside, it looks like. So Link is just en fuego. En fuego right now. So we'll watch that one. DGB actually, had a, look at this doji. Huge move, intraday on this thing. So not sure what's going on there. Hopefully it can hold this level and hold this low. Our position is still safe right now. So let's let it play out. Maybe it'll bust out of this falling wedge and everybody can be happy and make some money. So that's those. Let me go ahead and take a look at Chewy wanted me to take a look at GDX. Let me go over here, pull it up. And there's GDX, right? There's your gold miners. And let me change my cursor so you can see where I'm going at with this. So I guess the question being, everybody's been talking for years that gold's manipulated, right? Let's go ahead and look in on it. And I guess my point to that is, to a certain extent, maybe. But right now, I'm looking at the charts. Nice move here. Dip, dip, dip. Came up, tried to retest this high. And then look at this reversal right here. If coronavirus and everybody's so worried, then why is gold dropping? Right? I mean, I just think at any day, and maybe tomorrow might be the day on the Dow and the S&P, that it just wicks down, you get a big down early to start, and then you totally reverse things. Right? It just has the makings of it, and then everybody's going to be like, oh, it's not as bad as what we thought. I'm getting back in. Now, I could be totally wrong, and they could just keep spooking the markets. A school closing in the United States would probably send markets way lower, but the Dow was down, 1,200 points or 1,100 points today, and gold's down? If there was real panic, gold would be making higher highs right here. So that's just my opinion on it, right? So I don't know. I'm telling everybody, this whole coronavirus thing, it's one of those, yeah, you want to be prepared just in case. But again, influenza kills more people right now than, so far, coronavirus. And coronavirus is basically another form of flu. So anyway, that's just my thinking on it. I think this thing is way overblown. There's some great buys out there. I'll be honest with you. I did buy some VIX puts today. So we'll see what happens. I just don't think VIX at this level. It could go a little higher, but I think it reverses fairly quickly. This is just way overblown. Yeah, they should. But something's telling us right now that, look at this. Way outside the Bollinger Band right here. Everybody got frothy with it, and then all of a sudden it just got yanked back in. So I think people are estimating at some point the market's going to reverse, and they don't want to get stuck in gold right now. So that's my opinion on it. Let's go look at... let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Anything altcoin-wise, or let's look at it. We can look at others. Ethereum. Wish I'd held those VIX calls from the other day. I had a nice position in those. It was the VIXie actually, and I think I got them when the VIXie was around 14 or something like that. And I think today they hit like 20 something, or no, 18 actually. So anyway, couldn't help it. All right, so this is Ethereum. Holding the 61.8, closing back above the 50. This one looks, it's not crashing yet, and the 10 has not crossed the 20 yet. Bitcoin has, Ethereum has not. So it makes one wonder if Ethereum, if it gets going, might outperform Bitcoin. Makes you wonder, right? Let's go look in on Litecoin real quick. Inside day right here with the green stick inside the red. See what kind of follow through we got. It's trying to bounce off that 78.6 retracement. And if it can get back above the 10 and the 20, that's going to be the key on all of these. You got to get back above and get this thing turning, get your moving averages going in the right direction. Right now, they're not. Okay. XTZ, I know a lot of people follow this one. You know, that's I guess on a lower time frame charts, one might say a head and shoulders, but a bullet bearish engulfing right there, confirmed, and now it's just trying, like, I don't know, trying to bounce. This is going to be a key area for it, $3. Back above it, and maybe it gets something going. But the way it looks right now, this thing just could chop in here for a little bit. The way the Bollinger Bands are kind of doing their thing. May even come back and retest that lower Bollinger Band before it wants to go a little higher. And if it breaks, obviously, this area, you're looking down here. And I'm not talking like, you know, 230. I'm talking like sub $2. Okay. That's XTZ. Any questions, guys? Anything you want me to look at? Questions? For those that are late coming in, I'll go ahead and throw it back on the, Tesla. I'll go look at it here in just a second. In fact, let me switch off. Let me switch again to get my pointer focus going again to the right color. And since I'm in here, we'll go ahead and take a look at Tesla. All right, so there's gold. Let's look at Tesla. Yow. Wow. Okay. You know, obviously getting crushed with the rest of the market. One thing you'll obviously see is the gaps, right? Here's one up here around 877. You got another one here at 771. Price today closed at what, 700? And you know, this histogram right here, this is a squeeze indicator, right? So this could actually bring Tesla back down into, well, another gap to fill right here at 592. So I think Tesla has more room to go lower. Hey, Fabio. Market cipher indicator. No, I have not. Going back to Tesla. There's another gap all the way down here at 516. This thing is just strewn with gaps, right? And then not only that, but let's go all the way back over here, and lo and behold, we've got the big gap down here around 265. 265. Okay? So keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. I mean, it's way up here. There's nothing. We've seen what happens with the S&P, right? And the Dow. There's nothing saying it can't keep going down, because what's going to end up happening with this coronavirus, right? If things stay the way they are, and however, we'll find out more as things go on. But school closings, business closings, people staying at home, there's no productivity. So how are they going to make money? And what's going to happen to your stock price? Well, right now, the market's anticipating that, right? Pricing it in. But how bad will it be, right? If it comes to the United States and we start seeing closings all over the place, then this thing has a lot further to go, as does the S&P and the Dow. But we'll see. I can't predict that. And by the way, that right there up at the top for Tesla, that is what you call an island gap. Island gap, right? So you get a gap up, price just stays in a small concentrated area right here, and then gaps down, right? And just leaves these people as bag holders. Okay? That's an island gap. And you can see what happens after island gaps. So, would I be buying Tesla? No. Absolutely not. In fact, I don't know that I would be... even though I bought the VIX puts, it wasn't very much, right? It's one of those that, and there are ways out, but it's one of those that until I see a reversal pattern in the market, or if I see intraday, which it's hard for me to trade intraday, right? Because I work, but until I see something intraday that tells me that this might be a bottom, then I have no reason to do anything. So we'll see how it plays out. Anyway, that's Tesla. Let's go look at Amazon just for giggles and grins. Wow. Oh, goodness gracious. And here's another candle pattern for you guys, right? Not perfect, but that's a key reversal area right there. Doji at the top. Tried right here, got outside Bollinger Bands, which happened to be the top, by the way. Double top, doji, and then once you start getting that, it crescendos down to the to lows. Amazon is getting into a squeeze here. Histogram flat, lower Bollinger Band, and filled this gap obviously right over here. It's filling it right now. So Amazon, wow. This one could get either real nasty real quick, or it bounces off this lower Bollinger Band and possibly these EMAs right here. Key area for Amazon right in this area. And I would call that 1860 or 1850. Yeah, it is. But you know what, though? Sometimes that's the best time to start looking for stuff. Let me refresh this screen again. That got blurry. All right, there we go. So anyway, Amazon, at a key area, could just break right through this, and then we're starting to look at recession time. We're not quite there yet, but things are it's getting precariously close. Microsoft, I think, was another one that just, got hammered into submission. Trying to hold the 100-day moving average. Your 200's down here at 146. Squeeze indicator has fired off to the short side. So, not out of the woods yet. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? Anything you want to see? Intel. Let's go take a look at Intel. Yep. Looks like it wants to come down here to the 200-day moving average. This little area right here, and there's a gap right there too. Okay. Let's look at this. Let me go ahead and draw that on there. It's got a gap right there. And I will go ahead and that's going to be a support area. And let's go ahead and thicken it up a little bit. There we go. All right. And it's also got this little area right over here. I'll go ahead and just click on it and put it in there. And let's go ahead and put a green line on it. Intel's pretty much going to go the same way Microsoft does. Okay. So there you go. Gap down here. And that's going to be at 52. And then you got this support right here trying to hold at 55 and a half. Not a good way to close the day. But then again, on the flip side, guys, we have to remember this. Filling gaps here, but leaving gaps wide open to the top. Not saying it's going to happen immediately. This is long, and it didn't, this right here was October. Now obviously this has happened really quick, but there's gaps on the upside. I think once this thing is all said and done and it's over with, then you're probably going to see, I don't know about a V-shaped recovery, but you could see something, I don't know, maybe wiggle, maybe a up and then a down, then a, something like that. I don't see this as a V. That's just my opinion. But we'll see. And my screen keeps getting blurry again. Let me do that. Maybe I need to close a couple of things here on my... There we go. All right. Okay, any other ones to look at? That's Intel. If you want me to, let's go back and look at, for those that missed, Bitcoin. This is the daily futures chart. We are now in a short squeeze, right? So we're trying to hold a key level right here, this trend line. We're also trying to hold some key moving averages as well. But like I told everybody earlier, you got to get back above, especially the 200-day moving average, right? So we're in that little area, that little zone. We'll say it could get pretty volatile here over the next couple of days. I mean, I would like to see it just kind of, bounce here, get above that 200, and then just kind of chew around that 10 and 20 for a little bit, and then go up. 50% retracement. Obviously, your downside, if it breaks the trend line, your first area is going to be 8,000. And potentially down to 7,300. If we break this area right here. That's huge. Huge area to hold. All right, Halliburton. Let's go take a look at Hal. Yeah, oil's been getting creamed lately. And again, why? Because, and here's why. Because if transportation is shut down, what does transportation use? It uses oil, right? Let me refresh this screen again. Gosh, dog it. Why that thing's getting blurry. There we go. Anyway, it looks like they got earnings coming up. What is this? Next week. So, we'll see, but it's approaching lows right over here. All right? Approaching, let's just call it what it is, 1697. Closed today at 1740-ish. Short squeeze is in effect, right? And it was in effect back here, and then it just went sideways, histogram here, and then re-short. I know, right? Everything's infected by coronavirus. It's just weird how it keeps doing that. Maybe it's my bandwidth. I'm sure I got probably too many things open. But anyway, that's, Halliburton is just, I wouldn't be buying. I don't know if I'd buy this right now. I know everybody's like, oh yeah, I'll probably buy it. But, do you want to take the risk here and think it's a double bottom? I guess you could, but I wouldn't buy very much. I would leave myself enough opportunity that if it got down in here, that I could get some more, right? Just because it's testing the low right here doesn't mean that's a bottom, right? This area over here should have held. If this thing is super bullish or trying to turn, this area right over here, that was 1850. That area should have held, and it just blew right through it. Now, I will say this. On most of these charts, everything, and you guys know how I feel about this, everything. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, fourth day being outside the Bollinger Bands. That is just unheard of. I mean, the entire body of the candle. That's just unheard of. You may get something like this where, part of it comes out, but you got another half in, out, just kind of gives you clues. But man, at some point, this thing's got to pull back inside Bollinger Bands at some point. But whether that point's down here or down here, it remains a risk. And this thing's got just such an incline to it that it's just really risky. All right. So that is Halliburton. Anything else? What else can we look at? Let's go look at bonds. Let's look at TLT. That's your 20-year. And bonds are breaking out to new highs, which is not good for stocks. The yields on these things are just getting crushed. Man. Again, outside Bollinger Bands, something's got to happen soon, a relief bounce or something. Get them back in, and then if things are really bad, then it'll extend higher. But, that's just breaking out to new highs. Wow. And I don't think, let me go back and look. Let's go back and look at the monthly on this bad boy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. So even back here, and you guys can see, that was the financial crisis, right? Bonds were telling the market, even back in here, the bonds were trying to tell the market something, but wow, got frothy there. And then we started to recover, but because the Fed keeps pumping money into the market, because, it just, the bonds are saying, wait a second, there's debt out there, and this is what you get. So this is not just all coronavirus. There's a lot of other factors that's going on in play here. I mean, coronavirus is obviously the biggest, but there's other factors in play. What else can we look at? Apple. And that's the that's the monthly chart on Apple. Oh my gosh. That is not looking pretty, guys. I think Apple could come all the way back into 230 easily. And maybe even come and retest the 100-day moving average again at sub 200. So we'll see. They're getting hit hard by China, right? Really bad what's going on over there. But look at our histogram on the monthly chart. You've heard me talk about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bars. And we're starting to get our correction. Well, thank you very much, Nunyo. Appreciate it. Hopefully I said that right. Nunyo Business. Love it. Nice name. Nunyo Business. Awesome. Good name. All right, so let's get off the monthly here. Monthlies are obviously looking ugly. Let me pull SPX back up real quick. Yeah, that's ugly. And I'm going to get that support zone out of there. Gone. Golly. you know, had a reversal pattern here, dropped all the way to here. I'm just curious. Let's do some symmetry, right? And let me get there it is, I think. There we go. All right, so if this drop, and I don't think that's even good, we'll see. Okay, so we could see S&P 500 back down to 2774 at some point over the next few months, but we'll see. I'm just throwing that in there just in case. You never know. Any questions? Chart requests? Let me go back to crypto. Okay, guys, any other questions? Just wanted to be able to get on here while things are where they are. Dover. Never heard of it before. What's the symbol on that one? Dover symbol, please. DOV. Let's go look. Oof. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much a common pattern with everything right now. Let me just take a look at. Let's do this. All right, so this was a swing low back over here, right? So let's take it up to the top on Fibos. And let's see what we got. I think it is, oh, look at this. Your 200-day moving average and a 50% retracement line up at 103.64. So, you know, possibly tomorrow you may want to look at that area and just see how it reacts. That should be support. If not, and if it breaks through, then I think it's coming right down here to sub 100 and then eventually on down to probably 94. Squeeze indicator fired off to the short side. Okay. Yeah, that's not pretty. When to get back into S&P? Well, let's just go back and take a look. So for 401k purposes, right? And we've already seen what the monthly chart looks like and the area that it might hit down in here, right? So, you know, for 401k holders, this right here is pretty nasty, right? It's scary looking. But, you know, that is too much too quick, in my opinion. Way too quick. I mean, either we're going to get millions of people dying, you know, or it's just something that's, you know, everybody's overblowing it way out of proportion. Except for the White House, which seems to think it's nothing, right? But then you hear all people on TV and they're thinking everybody's covering something up, or, you know, all kinds of conspiracy theories. Well, that happens all the time. Right? It does. So you just have to look at something like this as a buying opportunity. I mean, what's going to happen when shorts start to cover? The only problem with this is that You're getting this right here. This is margin calls. People are getting margin calls. And when it happens, it just adds to the selling, right? It's like shorts that are trying to short the market in this. They keep shorting and they have to cover. They keep shorting, cover, short, cover. And it just adds to the fuel until it's unsustainable. And we're starting to see, I mean, look at this. You know, you've heard me talk about it until I'm blue in the face. But look at this. Way outside the Bollinger Band, right? So why not? I'm not saying you have to put all your money back into the 401k or whatever, but, you know, if you've already got some, then now seems to be like a decent buying opportunity, in my opinion. I mean, that's not financial advice. I'm saying that this could go lower. Hang on one second. But, you know, I think that this, you know, still has a little bit of room left to the downside. Warren Buffett. Yeah. Wasn't he talking up in here? He was talking way up here around 3,200. You know what, Chewy? That's actually a pretty decent point. It's a good point, really good point. I don't know that anybody will want to hold during the weekend, right? So it's one of those just to we'll have to see what happens, right? Nobody has a crystal ball. All we can do is look at the charts. And I just see that, you know, this is just way, way overdone. Way overdone. At least for the short term. And by short term, I mean like a couple of days. I'm not saying it's the total bottom. But I'm just saying that it's due for, you know, a green day. All right. You're welcome, Chewy. My pleasure. Love doing it. Love doing it. Any other chart requests? You know, here's funny. Let's look at BABA. This ought to be interesting. Look at that. How well it's held up. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. And this one just looks like it might fall off a cliff. Oh my gosh, wait a second. Let me zoom in. Yeah. Bearish engulfing reversal pattern. Not quite a evening star. And then failure to get back above the 10 EMA right there. Doji. We'll see. Yeah, just a lot of ugliness out there right now. A lot of ugliness. Yeah, Tesla down 12% today. Wow. Wowza. Let's go take a look at the ES futures. Here's your S&P live futures right now as we're speaking. And let's just go and take a look at, let's look at an hourly. And yeah, short squeeze. Histogram's getting a little overdone here, getting close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who knows? Maybe in the next couple hours, maybe get a bounce up here, close to 3,000, and then we'll see how it plays out. Still no divergences. Not seeing anything that says that it's a divergence here or there anywhere. Bearish engulfing on that hourly candle right there. Let's take a look at a 2 hour. Got inside the red stick. Obviously, outside Bollinger Bands, it's pulling back in. Let's take a look at a 4. Outside Bollinger Bands, trying to pull back in. So, maybe a move, and here's your key driver, right? This 10 EMA. I mean, it just wicked slightly above it right there, but otherwise, it's just getting rejected every time. Every time. So until this thing can solidly break the 10 EMA, it's still bearish. And here's your daily. Way, 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 way outside Bollinger Bands. All right. So that's what I've got on ES. Anything altcoin related you guys want to look at? I've already talked about Link, which is really strong. We've already talked about Bitcoin and what it needs to do, right? And it's actually kind of funny, really, when you look at it. Bitcoin from this low has basically just retraced, 50% of the move. Algo USD. All right, let me take a look at Algo USD. Algo, there it is. Seems like I did. Ooh, okay. Yikes. Let's go ahead and get rid of some old Fibos I had in here. There we go. And this one, that can go away. Actually, I'm going to leave that. And let me move and drag up here. And let's go ahead and change our settings. Let's get 50%. Ah, broke that. Okay, so some might call this a tweezer bottom right here. Saw it over here, right? So the next candle is going to be your key candle, right? If you can have a green day, then you can see what can possibly happen. But you need to see some confirmation. Doesn't look half bad, but I don't know that I would be in it for a long, long time, just because that is such a strong bearish engulfing candle. So let's go ahead and just draw some fibs and see potential exit points. If you're in it right now, I don't know how long you're holding it or whatever, but came up here, test 38.2, so maybe a 50% retracement, possibly 42 cents, and then just ladder yourself out, just protecting your capital and making some profits at the same time. Your risk to the downside is back down here at the 50 EMA. That's 32 cents. So know your risk, know your reward. Okay? You got this bottom right down here around 33. If you're so inclined, you could, let's look at this. Let's just go over to let's go ahead and do a 2-hour chart. Does that look real bullish to you? I don't know. That's a possible double bottom, the tweezer we saw on the daily. We saw it right here. Get back above the 200-day moving average and you might be all right. You can see it's a similar pattern, right? See over here? You had your 50 EMA coming down. You had a tweezer bottom over here, and once it broke the 50, it started to move up and came back and retested, and then went higher. Retested it again, actually wicked a little below, but it closed above. And then you get the boom, right? So similar situation, and the way you can play it, right? Instead of just risking your money, play it like over here. If it breaks the 50, you could buy in, right? Set a stop below the 50, probably even a little bit more below the 50, just, below it enough in case you get wicked, but give yourself some room. And then obviously if it comes back and retests, or you could play it that way, you could buy it on a retest of the 50. But you want to see the 10, the 20, you want to see those cross the 50, hold that retest, come back, hold support, and then boom. So that's what you could do over here. Otherwise, you're risking a move down to here. And who's to say that this can't be some sort of bear flag? That's a pretty big drop right there. And if you scroll back here, yeah, it had a drop here too. But that is a bigger drop. I'll refresh that again. All right. There we go. That's a little clearer. All right, guys. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to give it a 2-minute call. Actually, a 5-minute call. I'm going to get off here right at 8. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. Absolutely. Ready to start seeing life get back to normal in the markets. But these times right here are good to have, kind of does a little reset. NEO. Hey, Todd, how are you doing? NEO. Let me go take a look. NEO. I think I had it over here. Yeah, I do. We were really, for a while there, wanting to see it hold, and that's a 2-hour chart, by the way. Let me get it over to a daily. Was really wanting to see it hold this area right here. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. But it didn't hold. So we're going to take that out. We're going to take that Fibbo out. We're going to take this one out. And we're pretty much going to be starting over. We'll leave that in since it hasn't broken new lows. We'll leave that. Actually, we'll take that out since it did not hit. All right, so now let's go and do, you got support here, trying to hold the 2 and the 233-day moving average, right? They're both right here, big support. And then let's do our Fibonacci and see if we got any kind of cluster or if we've got anything brewing in this area. Let's take, oops. Here to there, and let's go ahead and get off what's been broken, and the 61.8 I think was also broken. Yep. All right, so let's get that. Let's go back and do another one from this low up to this high, and let's see if maybe the 61 EM or 61%. 0.8 is holding. Yep. Okay, there we go. All right, so confluence in this area right here. Okay, so you're going to be watching anywhere from 980 to 1050. Okay, so you got about a 70-cent range right in there. Watch this area closely. This is going to be your key support zone. If that breaks, then, obviously you're coming and looking over here around 758. Okay. So this is going to be a major area to hold on NEO right there. I mean, it could have already happened for all we know, right? This thing starts and gets going and gets past the 10 and the 20, and more, especially on the 50. Get back above that 50 EMA around 12, 30, 1237. Get back above that, get above your 10, 20, and then you can start thinking about maybe coming up and retesting the highs. But your initial resistance, obviously, look at this. 3 black crows again. That is just, and usually this thing retraces about half of it, sometimes 61.8% of it, before it continues to slide down. Now, it could get negated, but I would just be very cautious right in this area right up here around 13. So if you're trading it, you could play it up to maybe, to be on the conservative side, 1285, to see if it holds that 10 or not, or if it can get past it. But you could always get rejected at the 10. So you have to keep that in mind when you get below the 10 EMA. That is going to be a key driver in price. All right, it and the 20. So just watch that. All right. Any other questions? Oh, you're welcome, Todd. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Want to wish you all good luck. I'll be around in the channel. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Just send me sometimes send me a private message, or the Ask Cribbo Fibonacci channel. If you have a specific question or a chart request, put it in there. Otherwise, we will plan on seeing you guys soon. I appreciate everybody coming in. If you're not a subscriber yet already, please hit that little button right down there. You can also hit the little bell. That way you'll get notifications of any new videos I have. So, strange days indeed, guys, but let's keep our wits about us and don't panic, right? It's not panic time. It seems scary, but I've seen this time and time before, and it usually plays out okay. So you guys be careful, stay safe, and we'll talk soon. Have a good evening.